Hello, you guys. To my surprise and luck, the motherfucking AC turned off, so that's really, really cool. Um, Last video I made, it was about quitting smoking, and I'll tell you about that journey real quick. It's good. It's good. It's all right. Smoker's cough. No, but I joined that quit tobacco group, so they supplied me with like lozenges and nicotine patches. Haven't tried the patches because I've been kind of scared, but I'm weaning off the vape, and I will try I try the lozenge. It's actually pretty good. It's kind of yummy. um, but that's a quick little update, and I saw like somebody had commented, and I'm giving them a shout out. You got this, mama. If it is a sign, it's a sign. I believe it is for you, and it's just one step at a time. It's certainly not easy, and I think I talked about like what is pertinent to me in this journey and why it is, like, in what personal way is how is it difficult for me. Anywho, I got a meeting in 20, and I just figured I'd make this video before I head out. Well, I got the meeting here, and then I'm gonna go to this open mic thing for my friend. I was really cool last time I went, and I certainly I'm dressed to impress for tonight. I'm dressed for that reason, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And overall, I would say that life is, like, I think right now we're caught in a very mundane period in which I have the tendency to try to excavate meaning by amplifying whatever negative emotion I have going on and making it a whole deal of it, just to, like, this hair is bothering me. Let's excavate that. But just to have something to think about. I think I have the habit of like overthinking, That said, I recently asked one of my friends, like, does your identity change based on your environment? Because I feel like, and this is a very natural experience, this is a very common experience in your 20s, to not really know who you are. Granted, I'm on the later spectrum of my 20s, so I have an idea, a sense. But I also have learned, and really I shouldn't as I speak about it out loud, and this is the practice of, like, being compassionate with yourself and ensuring like your inner monologue is compassionate and supportive and productive. So as I am saying this out loud, I find myself in a state of understanding of why I am at odds with who I am, and I am open to more change, be it maybe external influences, which is why I did pose the question, right? Like, is my identity susceptible to my environment? Is it, malleable in a sense, I do feel that way, like maybe the minor things like taste in music. Let me just tell you something, little update, crazy update though. For me, it's fundamental almost. I like I like house music. Never ever would I have said this last year. Never. I thought it was fucking stupid a year ago, but holy shit, I really enjoy the music. It's fun. But those are small things. As far as the more like integral things about me, that's also been shifting a bit too. But I realize, as I say this out loud, that some of my cemented characteristics are just a product of how I was raised, A lot of me has changed willingly, and I've welcomed a lot of change too. Just, like, just certain, like, just a certain more liberated mentality, and that can come with I guess, certain maybe tribulation, or just something that is very confrontational to yourself. That can incite that level, that extent of change, and I experienced that, and I'm very happy and very thriving in that mindset now. So for instance, like my not newfound, but my more elaborate version of feminism, and so many of the notions that I've tackled that are male centric, and I discuss this a lot, but for me it's it is part of the voice. And since I was a kid, I mean, I've always grappled with the experience of being a young girl, and also being met with certain expectations that impede on my liberty and my freedom, that men and boys, when I was a kid, I mean, I didn't have these like intense elaborate thoughts, but I would feel some sort of frustration with being told what to wear at a certain age. I just the little things, or being told what not to do and stuff. Like I think that, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm the black sheep of my family, like I'm not. There are so many like beautiful and strong personalities that have broken down barriers before me and after, like I can't possibly, and honestly, that's what I cherish so much about my family. This is a bit of a tangent, but like each of them are, I'm not even lying, like genuinely so unique and have such strong qualities and are full of integrity in their own way. But I guess in certain social situations, I do feel like I'm a little bit off. um, so yeah, like that. I guess that's one instance, the feminism. And even if you like a sub example would be like modesty. I don't really adhere to the concept. I think that it is male centric. And I mean, it's another form of being exploited. So I don't really fuck with it that much. Uh, and that's amazing. Like, just, I don't know, learning where I stand and questioning things. And I really feel like I'm a lot more different than who I used to be. And really, I think I have this suspicion that a lot of this change just came from loving myself more and more. Let me just say, I don't entirely like it's a process, it's a journey, but whatever I've accomplished thus far in terms of self-esteem and all that, I've like changed a bunch, and my modality is with compassion, more open-minded. So I think that's pretty sick. Now the meat of it, do I really know who I am? Not always, to be honest. I waver. I used to hate that because I think when I was younger, the whole objective for me was to know who I am and be very definitive with who I am. Even if that means, crash and burn through every, like through any other person's opinion. I'm talking, this is like very like my adolescent years, high school years. High school years, that's when I, of course, like most kids, like they do find their identity there around that time. And then in college, it's just that adolescent period that that is very, I guess it just congregates a lot of who you are into one solid package person. And you go and change, but I don't know, I like to believe that. But and at least for me, like a lot of my personality developed then. But I don't want to really get into the particular subject that I am, I guess, observing and monitoring. There's a big change that I'm undergoing, but like, I don't think I really want to specify here. Which is like, what the fuck? Like, what's this whole video for? But I don't know. That said, I think this video is just me talking about me. I think this video is just, I wrote a piece last night about not knowing who I am and finding that identity, but in the process of like, I state who I am and what I've become. I am in the zone of my period, so as you know, if you've kept up with my videos, I get very weirdly humanitarian, emotional, compassionate, loving, and soft, and like my thoughts intrinsically are very like way more kind than they usually are, like yeah, it's interesting. So when I was writing this piece, it was I guess it depicted that intention and feeling and sentiment that I'm experiencing right now. And a lot of it was in subtle reference to Fleabag. I love that show. I love that show because I think I relate to the character. Um, I on some levels, like, it's just, I think I love her authenticity. I don't know how to explain this, but, and I think I have found my words for it. This is kind of a more like women related, feminine related subject. But I think we're taught to refrain from expressing our emotions. And you'd think, ironically, that women are the more emotional type, but like, I think we're taught to like hold our tongue in any state, you know? And I mean, there are various instances that oppose that, but for the sake of the conversation, I think we're taught to shut up. I think everyone can, most people can agree. It's unanimous agreement that we are taught to close our mouths. And I don't think, like, I've always been emotional. Like, I've always been intense. I've always been intense with my love. And something about Fleabag that I admired so much that I don't get to see because I always feel like I'm doing life wrong. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I knew I shouldn't have made a video at this time. I'm gonna fucking cry. But I don't see a lot of depictions of someone living so authentically. It's humiliating because as a woman, you're taught to be poised and measured and controlled, taught to, like, again, close our mouths and hold our tongue and turn the other cheek and whatever other fucking metaphor. But, you know, we're taught that. And I think what I admire about myself, what I truly know is, like, I do lead with my heart, even if it hurts, and even if there's no gratification. I see this character who is almost unabashed, and, like, especially as messy as she is at a time at that point in her life, you know, and even the little quirks and the small jokes, and almost putting her pride at cost. Like, it's something I really liked because I think I feel lonely as the person I am. You know, like, not lonely socially necessarily. I'm cool. Oh my god, I'm gonna cut that out. That was so weird. Oh fuck, I'm gonna fucking cut that out. Shit. Okay, I was just trying to say that, like, I'm cool, I have friends, like, but in a more sarcastic way. I do have friends. Like, I'm not lonely. I'm tweaking. Like, I have people who love me, you know, and I'm very lucky for that. But I feel just lonely because I feel like I just have a lot of emotions. And I think I feel things too deeply. And I don't know, like, I don't know who can bear my heart. Like, that's how it feels. I think that no matter the age, I've always been super intense. Especially when I picked my career, I was so headstrong. Just deciding, you know, all the risks and all that I accepted to endure for this field. And then, you know, the people I've loved and how much I could never hold back in expressing it. I do think I am the type that, like, looks at my friend and goes, I needed this. Like, you know? I don't know. So just seeing that depicted in media is really cool. And that was something that I recognized in myself as I even go through the waves of self-discovery. I can't, you know, I don't know how to even sit with it, not knowing who I am, or just being subjected, or being open to, susceptible to change just because of my environment. But maybe it's just that whoever I'm around I like trust enough to be around them consistently, trust them enough to change me as a person fundamentally. My friends, my family, the cousins I talk to every day, you know, there must be something that triggers not only the attachment, but the interest of learning more about them. And maybe there are certain beliefs and philosophies that I admire that I would like to implement into my own life. And that change is scary, but I think regardless if I'm uncomfortable or comfortable, I'm gonna have to sit with it, and that's life, you know. Um, my friend said one time something really profound that that identity is capitalistic. I'll leave it at that because I'm not even sure if I have the capacity to elaborate over this and really get into it. But he made a really good point, and I think it was in opposition of